is KC Sports Network, proudly presented by Emprise Bank.
What is happening, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of your favorite KC Current podcast. It's currently on no other pod, part of KC Sports Network. I'm Daniel Kooser, here with Chris Wright. Despite what my shirt says, it is not a victory pod. We were so close to a victory pod, but we're here to bitch all about it. We're glad you're here with us. Chris, how's your week been, my friend? How was your week?
It was good, man. Had a fun game on Friday, kind of another draw that we should have walked away with 3 points, man. So a little frustrated there, but at the end of the day, still 15-game undefeated streak. Is that right?
Oh yeah, 15 is the streak. And then also at the end of the day, we stay atop the league because the teams nipping at our heels also drew their matches, which is pretty wild. I believe. Who was it? Who am I talking about?
Washington had a draw, and so did Orlando.
Yep. Orlando 0-0 against North Carolina, snooze fest, and then a little 1-1 Washington-San Diego action. So, man, that just makes this potential victory we almost had feel like it could have been so much sweeter. Like we would have jumped up, man. We would have been freaking 3 points ahead of all those people, or 4 points, right?
Yep.
Well,
3.
Or like 2 ahead of Orlando, but
yeah,
it's still we got to widen this gap, and we got to figure out how to close out games, how to start games the right way. I think we saw that this game did not start the right way. I think there's questions to ask at maybe a certain position. We're not a bad team, right? But I am here to nitpick the situation and how can this great team become greater. I just don't know, man. What was a hot game out there? Real hot?
It wasn't too bad. It was a little later. Okay. So it was at 7. So the last game was at 5, which is pretty scorching. So it felt like it was a little cooler. A beautiful day of soccer. I mean, it was hot, but there was a nice breeze. But it was a beautiful, beautiful day of soccer.
I had it on my phone whenever I could. I was in the show and the play I was doing, and intermission. I was watching for, a good 20 minutes because that's how long intermission is. And one guy on the show goes, "Wow, you're really into soccer, huh?" And I was like, have you met me? Like, what are you talking about? And I go, well, yeah. And even if I wasn't, I kind of have to be. I do like 2 radio shows throughout the week. And this is an older gentleman. And he's like, "You're on the radio?" I was like, "No, I'm not on the radio." I said,
internet radio.
In fact, it's more widely distributed than radio, to be honest. Like anyone could listen anywhere, and people do. And he's like, "Oh, so not the radio?" And I was like, "God damn it." No, not the radio. Okay, I do 2 podcasts. I should have said that. But radio sounds cooler.
You try to make it simple for him, right? And it backfired.
It backfired, man. No, I'm not on the radio, but it could be. I got that radio voice. I'm on the radio. But dude, my play's done, and I'm moving on to a musical, man, and it's gonna be wild. I hit up my guy who played this role I'm playing on Broadway, and was asking for like some makeup tips and stuff. Like, I know the changes are quick. How did you guys do it? I'm sure you had a whole makeup team. I won't have that. He was very gracious with his time and told me all the tips and tricks of the show. So
wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, very cool. Only a Tony nominated show, whatever. So come on out and see it, guys. Tootsie, Peak Civic Theater.
When does it start?
Oh, it's July 5th through August 10th. A good 5 weekends.
Wow.
And right on my dresses yesterday. I'm quite the buxom beauty, I'll tell you that.
Is it every Saturday and Sunday?
It will be. It's every Friday, Saturday for sure. Okay. Then occasionally there's a Thursday in there, a Sunday thrown in there. I think they throw a Wednesday in there. So it's just, there's options for everybody.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah. I know Jimmy's going to try to come on down from Lee Summit. Maybe you can pick you up on the way.
Yeah, just a little carpool situation.
For sure.
Many people's
or just come on down and have the guest room, man. I'll get the guest room for you.
Oh, I didn't know that was a thing. Well, I do like to feel special.
I can put you up, whatever, man. I'll cook you breakfast, do the whole thing. So, well, this game, man, it ended up 2-2, and we thought we would have the victory at the end. Getting right into it, what Mal Swanson's out there doing Mal Swanson things. And 5.5 minutes into this game, she's scoring an impossible goal. That's like the odds of scoring that from that angle are very low. France should have had that, right?
I mean, that went right under her armpit, between like her hip and her like tricep. Man, that's a tough ball to stop, but you got to feel like there has to be some better positioning there. We'll talk about. Do you
think she makes herself big enough? Do you think she comes out and like looks big?
I think there's some hesitation at times.
Yeah.
I think there's some hesitation there.
Well,
I don't feel like she's the most aggressive keeper. I don't feel like she's the most aggressive keeper. If there is a 50-50 ball, she tends to be on the more conservative side and stay back.
Yeah, true. I got to tell you, man, Chawinga was all over this freaking defense. I lied, by the way. It was Mal Swanson's goal was like right at the 5-minute mark. So, but Chawinga was threatening the keeper like a minute and a half into the game. And she didn't stop all game. I don't know if you guys know. Energizer Bunny, dude. She just does not stop going. She's battery powered for sure. And it's unfortunate for her not to score more. But Mal Swanson scoring this early, dude, she looks freaking thrilled because she knows what we know, that the odds of scoring that goal are non-existent. Like, that's crap. And I'm mad about it. I'm mad that we let these kinds of goals in that have no business going in our net, that are just flukes, dude, from like that Schross, that cross that was actually a shot, or the shot that was a cross, and it just went into the damn net. And that stuff doesn't happen. So why is it happening here?
It's tough, man. I'll have to take a look at the numbers, but when I gleamed at it the other day, and we are preventing, our defense is preventing quality shots. We're actually not allowing easy shots.
Yeah.
But they're going in. And we'll have some numbers for you probably next podcast or two, but our defense is not really allowing them to have easy opportunities in their attack, but yet somehow they still find a way to put the ball in the back of the net. I mean, that angle that Swanson had was insane. Later on, we'll talk about the header. That thing was damn near right at France's feet, right?
Yeah.
I mean, those have to be stopped. And I understand that she kind of got a free header, and she wasn't too far from France, so the reaction time is tough to have, but other keepers are stopping these balls. I mean,
100%.
Nayer had like 2 or 3 stops point blank on Chawinga, like point blank.
Oh yeah, and that's one of the best goalkeepers.
It is.
I mean, maybe depending on what year you're talking about. But she comes out at the right time. I mean, if you want a goalkeeping clinic, Alyssa Nayer is the one. We've always talked about how just her judgment, her reaction time is so good, and these goals she gives up,
position.
Yeah, the goals people are scoring is not always her fault, which is what a good keeper should say. You know what I mean? Like, defense is really screwing me here. But I'm watching her right now. She's dropping down to the side, and we're just testing them, dude. We had like 18 shots in the first half, right? Something like that, 18?
Yeah, something wild, yeah.
That's insane. I do wish we converted more of those. Just wasn't our night, dude. It seems like Chicago just trained for this. And every team's going to train for this. Every team's going to be like, we need to be solid defensively. Because look around the league, who's at the top of the charts as far as attacking goes? It's KC Current. They're the ones scoring the most goals. Their goal differential is the highest in the league. So more teams are going to prepare for this defensively and just try to hit us on the counter. And on Mal Swanson's goal up top like that, just narrowly stays on sides. Elizabeth Ball stabs at it. Mal Swanson makes her pay for it, kind of just goes around her and hits this angle, man. And at what point do we have that conversation that like, well, where's our goalkeeping? I know it's a new coach this year, but where's the shuffling of our keeper like we've seen in years past? You know what I mean? We would give France a break to go, you would think about what you did. And we're going to, so get Silkowitz on here, who's Aussie fever, dude. She just spent a whole offseason in Australia.
I mean, I think we're going to have that opportunity here before too long because we have the international break. We're going to have a bunch of exhibition games or tournament games coming up. That's a perfect opportunity to get Franch away, right? Get see it from a different angle, get Silkowitz in, see what she can do. Obviously, she did exceptionally well in Australia. This will give her a chance to test herself in the NWSL or against some international competition. So, last year, Franch essentially kind of got benched, right? She struggled. Cassie Miller came in, played well. Franch got her job back. Franch played better. So I don't know if it's something where she needs to be pushed. She needs to have that competitive element where her job is not safe, to really play at the level she needs to. But I imagine I'd be shocked this summer if we did not see Silkowitz in a lot of these international break games.
Is Cassie Miller still getting the starting job over at Gotham?
No, I think she is not. I'm not sure if she's injured, but
I know we played them early on. I couldn't tell if I couldn't. I didn't know if she was still doing that. So,
yeah.
Well, man, the rest of this half kind of goes in our favor. Like if you're just kind of scrolling the highlights, we're the ones shooting at Alyssa Nair. We're the ones making her dive and use her hands. We're the ones going on fast breaks in this 10 freaking minutes of stoppage time, right? Chawinga's there, and then Nair comes out again and makes her shoot wide and to end the half. I mean, we're so close to ending the half 1-1, and it's just not following because Alyssa Nair made these excellent run-outs. She came out at the right times, dude.
If you looked at like the momentum charts of teams who are having momentum throughout the game, it would essentially be the Current would have it 95%, and the other 5% would just be like a random shot on goal or, a spell of possession for Chicago. And we absolutely dominated the game. Like you said, 18 shots in the first half. We had 28 shots total, 15 shots on goal throughout the entire game. I think the tough thing about Chawinga, she has, 8 or 9 goals, I can't remember, throughout the year. But if she was taking PKs, like she would lead the league. But the amount of goals she's almost had is absolutely insane. Nair had 2 or 3 stops point blank. And I feel like that happens every single game, right? She's such a dangerous threat, but if she could finish some of those a little better, I mean, the amount of points we walk away with would be significantly more. And I'm not blaming her, by the way, because it's a team effort. We talked about the goalkeeping position, but she's just so close all the time.
Yeah. These goals will come. I mean, we're getting positive results. It just, you hate to draw at home. So now you kind of got to make up for it and go win one on the road, kind of do that sort of thing.
They're positive results, but when you watch the game, it feels like, we were the better side exponentially.
Yeah. And it's always going to feel deflating to give up a last minute goal that forces a draw.
Right.
Like that's why I just felt, oh my God, like just crushes me to my bones. I do want to say, dude, our unbeaten streak of 15 games is tied for the second longest in NWSL history, and we're 1 game away from tying the longest. So that can happen this weekend with a draw or a win. So that's just kind of neat. I like breaking records, and it's a record breaking season. It feels like with everything, right? So I want to jump into this second half because we're down 1-0 right now at the half. Not feeling great. Had the chances. But let's take our break real fast and we'll jump into the second half when we get back. So hold right there.
We appreciate you supporting KC Sports Network by listening to our podcast. You have helped us become the highest ranked Chiefs podcast network in 2022 and 2023. And don't forget about our daily Substack newsletter, the best written analysis you can find on the Chiefs straight to your inbox every day. kcsn.substack.com.
What is up? It's Tucker Franklin here to tell you about our friends at PXG. And as a golfer for years, I've been hearing PXG say nobody makes golf clubs like we do, period. And you know what? I got to say that they are right. I went in for a fitting and I got to see firsthand for myself. I went and swung the new PXG Black Ops driver, and it is a total game changer. You no longer have to sacrifice distance for forgiveness. That is absolutely huge. And no matter how good the tool is, getting fitted can take your game to a whole new level. And look, they'll even give you a dozen of golf balls for free just for going and doing it. It's the world-class team of PXG experts will analyze every aspect of your swing with every club and give you feedback in real time how to improve. I went in there, got set up with Alex. She looked at my swing, fixed a couple swing things, but ultimately using the technology of the PXG and the Black Ops driver helped exponentially increase my game, added 50 yards to my drive, added more consistency with my shots, less disparity. It was an absolutely huge game-changing experience. If you're thinking PXG's high-performance equipment is too expensive, their clubs often cost less than the so-called leading brands. Here's what you got to do. PXG made me a believer, and they'll do the same thing for every golfer in Kansas City. Visit pxg.com/KCSN Soccer to schedule your fitting at PXG Kansas City. That's 7517 West 119th Street in Overland Park. Get fitted for any club, and you'll get a dozen golf balls for free. That's pxg.com/KCSN Soccer to schedule your fitting. pxg.com/KCSN Soccer. Limit 1 dozen golf balls per person. Promotion ends June 30th. Other terms and conditions may apply. See store for details.
And we're back. So, second half of this game. How are you feeling at halftime?
I was torn. I was cautiously optimistic. I was optimistic because we were clearly the better side. We were having chances, putting a lot of balls on frame there, but it kind of felt like one of those games that no matter what you did, we just weren't going to score. That's and we felt that before. That's not uncommon for us.
Yeah, you thought that, but then all of a sudden, we do score, and we score in pretty quick succession. Within 10 minutes of each other. But this, in the 51st minute, man, this ball just kind of doesn't get cleared on a corner kick from Chicago. They'll really be mad to not clear this because Bia got a little turnaround on it. It took one bounce in the box, and she puts it into the corner. Like, we're going to make you pay if you don't clear that shit. And it's kind of like that all around the game of soccer, right? If it takes a bounce, you're screwed.
And what a cool goal. Like, she had to, turn her body, and she didn't have a good angle on it initially, but she's able to get it on it.
She couldn't use her body.
No.
It was just all leg,
Yeah, she got enough on it.
And it kind of almost sliced it. It almost sliced into that corner of the net. I love that. Cassie Miller's nowhere near it, but there are 3 defenders in the net. Helping cover. What did I say?
Cassie Miller.
Oh, shit. We were just talking about
Miller on the mind.
Yeah, I was just texting Chip about Cassie Miller too. What the hell? Well, there were 3 defenders in there trying to help out Nair, and they just watched it go into the corner like, well, damn. But dude, now you're thinking, okay, it just takes one because we know, open those freaking gates, man. We know that the goals will just come once you get one. And sure enough, 58th minute comes along. Chawinga gets another, man. Dribbles through traffic. Splits defenders, then splits defenders with the ball to go into the back of the net. She had no business scoring this goal. No one shut this down.
It was weird because, it was almost like who's going to grab the ball? You had Dabina, you had Bia, you had Chawinga kind of all in the same area.
Yeah.
And it was like somebody was waiting for the other person. And, you don't got to tell Chawinga twice, right?
No.
So he took a touch or two and then just put that ball right in the corner of the net, man. What a fantastic strike. She'll make some difficult ones like that.
Yeah.
But she'll, miss a couple close ones. But what a great goal for her.
It just, gosh, people are so good from pulling defenders away from Chawinga as well. Dabina's going to pull defenders. Bia's going to pull defenders, and Chawinga's just going to go burn whoever's left.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Oh, one thing we didn't talk about, by the way, was at the beginning of the second half, Vanessa DiBernardo went down with a head injury.
Yeah.
And
was it head on head?
Yeah. And I didn't see a replay of it, so it was kind of tough to tell, but VAR would have
that stuff.
Yeah, VAR would have looked at it, and they clearly didn't see anything. I guess it was an intentional headbutt or intentional
unintentional?
Unintentional, sorry. Yeah, unintentional headbutt.
I guess she tried to MMA her ass.
And it's concerning because DiBernardo with concussion issues.
Yeah.
You hope that that's not what it was, but nonetheless, she had to go out. And Claire Hutton came in. And by the way, I think this is one of the first games where Claire Hutton did not start.
I think it is the first game
that
I can remember anyway. So I was a little perplexed at that. I was like, where's my girl Claire? Like, well, what are you doing? Stop messing with the flow. And that's why we tied this game. No Claire Hutton. Let's just throw it out there. DiBernardo's doing fine enough to serve some pitch side coffee.
Oh, that looks... I mean, obviously we don't live in the area, but if we did, I'd go get coffee all the time.
I mean, we go up there on game days and stuff and maybe run some errands if there's some time before or after, but I don't assume they'll be selling coffee when they're getting ready for a game. I saw a fan like made them pitch side coffee friendship bracelets. I thought that was adorable, and it's really cool to see people supporting this group of women when these are pro athletes. I mean, everyone's got a side hustle these days, but like pro athletes don't really need that. Sure, you do your endorsements and you rep stuff and all that, but like open a coffee trailer. Women's sports, folks, find a way to supplement your income. Become a realtor, get a coffee situation, and maybe make a little extra money.
God, you really got to grind, don't you? Unless you're a big popular player who gets national team money or anything like that. It's unfortunate they have to. And I'm sure they love it, right? So that's really cool, but
they look like they're having a blast. I was like, listen, I would go get a coffee from you ladies in a heartbeat. It looks awesome. And hey,
free time you're available.
Why don't we have a partnership? We're over here gassing them up. Love that shit. Maybe they could send us some beans. It's all about beans, bro. Let me tell you, Winga scores, 58th minute. The rest of this game, slow. Not much happened in like 30 minutes, dude. It was just kind of like, I don't know. Even in the highlights here, it skips from that Chawinga goal to the 89th minute. And does that mean there were no highlights in those half hour, right?
Well, we had a couple subs there. So we had Bia came off for Lavoisier in the 73rd, the 74th. Ellie Wheeler came on for Cooper and played right wing, by the way. So that was interesting. Alex Pfeiffer came on for Debinha in the 78th. Also in the 78th, Desiree Scott came in for Labonta. So it really kind of felt like we're parking the bus a bit, right? We're just trying to bolster our solidify our midfield, and then if we can get an insurance goal, so be it. But I thought, it was interesting. Wheeler for Cooper at right wing. I know she probably played there in high school and some college, so it's not unknown to her. But just couldn't finish the game.
Yeah, because in the 90th minute, apparently there was some referee issues this game. Would you agree that the referee was trash?
The worst. That was one of the worst referee games I've seen in quite some time.
I couldn't tell.
I'm trying to be objective. I'm really trying to be objective. And
I only watched bits and pieces live, so I didn't really get to make out that. So what kind of things happened?
I mean, just Haley Mace had a great tackle on Swanson, and they called a foul on Mace, but she got all ball. Just a lot of little stuff like that. And then from the angle I saw, the corner.
I was just going to ask you about that. Was this out on them?
I thought so. Unless, if there was a better angle I didn't see, then.
So in theory, this shouldn't have. What's that?
Oh, to me, it was out on Chicago, but, maybe there's
theory, this corner kick shouldn't have happened.
In theory, yeah.
The great ball by Mal Swanson. I think it's crazy, too, that like your striker is your best corner kicker.
Yeah.
Because normally you'd want that person near goal. Get something on the ball. I'd be ready to blast it in.
Yeah.
But no, she's class on corner kicks. And this goes right for Sam Staub, was it?
Yep.
This shouldn't happen. Paula Sauger should have had her marked off. Should have jumped in front of her. Something. This shouldn't have been as clean of a header as it was. But when she's in the air, all our players are still on the ground. So that's my first issue here, where I can't put it entirely on Franch. I'm sure they beat themselves up that night. They're like, I can't believe we gave up a corner kick. That's just lazy. The 90th minute, we should have been better. I guarantee everyone on the field said that. But this bounces right in front of Franch as well, and it just kind of looks misjudged. Like, I never want to say a goalkeeper should have blocked that corner kick, because corner kicks, if they're coming at you and it bounces first, like, very difficult. But this did bounce first, and it just looked like Franch had it. It looked like she was going to block it. What happened?
She'll make some incredible saves, and then to me miss some ones that she should have. It went down kind of by her feet, and she just kind of flailed a little bit. Maybe her body was going in one direction, and she was trying to go back. There wasn't much of an ability to react, so I kind of feel for Franch there. You're right. There's a clear issue with marking these corners or crosses. Whatever they're doing, a mix of zone and man is clearly not working. I would have liked to see 3 center backs in there, to be honest, at the end of the game, just to prevent something like this. But it's unfortunate, man. This is, again, I mean, at the end of the day, 2 goals were within inches of Franch. 2 goals were within inches of Franch, and both went in.
Well, I got to tell you, Sam Staub's been around for a bit, right? I think she's 27 years old. Yeah. Well, what she did was make our poor little young Claire Hutton look like a fool. Like, Claire was on her, and Sam Staub just went, juke, header. That's what she just got around her, bro. And Claire Hutton just looks like this afterwards, just shoulder slumped, head to the side. Like, how did that happen? It's like, well, you girl, like, I mean, you were part of it, but also Balasagar's right there too.
That ball was in the middle of the box, man, and that's another thing. And as I'd have to go rewatch it, I'm going off of memory here, but like sometimes I feel like she's not aggressive coming out. You see some keepers who will run out and punch the ball or like try to make a play.
Yeah,
Franch stood on her line.
Yeah,
and that ball hit essentially at her feet.
I don't know about punching that out. I don't know if I would have wanted to go out at that moment, but like I like to rewind replays and watch different players. Like, okay, what were you doing on that play? What were you doing on that play? Makes me feel like I'm in the film room or something, right?
Right.
Balasagar, dude, never puts a body on anybody, doesn't give anyone like a little forearm check. Like no one's in her vicinity. She was just zoned up. It's like, dude, you got to mark somebody, right? Or was that the job? You're just supposed to play that zone? Because Sam Staub's over here beasting your girl Claire, and then this happens. And I guess I'm fortunate there was 6 minutes of extra time added to this, of stoppage. But we couldn't do nothing. I mean, nothing happened in stoppage time.
I mean, it's a known issue. We've given up a lot of goals off of corners and crosses. I mean, this is not a shock to anybody. So, I mean, it's up to Vloggo to correct that.
I know, man. And Sam Staub was probably on top of the world. Like, you came in here and got that draw at the end like that. To break, for one, they broke their 3-game losing streak, Chicago, so that's good for them. And they just beat the number 1 team. Not beat, I'm sorry. It feels like a loss, damn it.
We had the points and we dropped them. They had 35 clearances. Like, they had to clear the ball 35 times because we were
coming.
On the precipice of scoring there.
That's all you can do, bro, is throw your numbers at it, to get your numbers up, and something will come. And we're getting quality chances. You're my XG guru over there. I know you had some XG stats for us about this game and about like the team as a whole. What do you got?
I mean, I'm going to give a little bit of credit here to Mike McGrew on Twitter here, but
Mike's great.
Yeah, he's pretty fantastic. But the last 2 games, the games with Racing and Chicago combined, those teams' XG is 0.8. They should have not scored a goal, by the expected goals or by the numbers. They scored 5. They scored 5 goals off of 0.8 XG. Like, that's absolutely, and those are 4 points.
Yeah.
That we let slip through our hands. And you go back to the, oh my goodness, I can't remember which game. Was it Utah? The one where, was it Utah? The one where Franch and Ellie Wheeler collided and had that miscommunication, or maybe that was Seattle. I can't remember. But I don't know. I can't remember what the XG was there, but
wasn't that in Houston?
Houston. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. I don't know what the XG was there, but that, again, that's 6 points right there off of what should have been not even one combined goal.
Yeah, there's these draws that are like shouldn't be draws, and they know it too, and it's so unfortunate, man.
Yeah.
We talk about it on the sporting side too. Like at the beginning of the year, we were getting these big leads and then giving up points, and when you did the math, we should be at the top of the league. Not anymore; they're not so good. But like we're lucky to be at the top of the league in some of these statistics, man. The XG wasn't even one goal between the two games, but you gave up 5. Like that's crazy.
Yeah,
and you know what? We're like performing at our expected goals this year. Like we are scoring the chances, and that's great. I hate underperformers, overperformers. I love being like where that number says we should be.
Right. And that should give us confidence that we're clearly the better team, but we're just letting these happen. So if we can correct that, I think there's another gear this team could go to. But we have to correct it.
You could put that satin finish on there. Like right now, we look good. We're diamonds, dude. But you could always shine up that diamond a little bit. This game, I'm ready to put behind us. Whatever. It was a draw. It was upsetting. You move on to Portland. I got to go to Portland this week, and they're coming off a draw, which they're probably lucky to have, as they were at Seattle, I believe. 0-0 situation there. So I'm a little worried about this game.
They had a big suspension last game.
That's true. I bet Seattle loved this 0-0 draw. They love 0-0 draws in their fandom. They celebrated one when we played there. I'm sure they celebrated this one too against Portland. Like, value your club, okay?
Well, I think they just sold their club, got a buyer. So,
okay.
And that must be tough. Having the cloud of your team being sold, but essentially nothing's going to change in terms of they're going to play at the same place. Like, it's just a different ownership group. So, you could definitely tell Portland missed Sophia Smith, but Portland's without some good players, man. They're without Olivia Moultrie. Sam Coffey was in a walking boot 2 games ago. She's a big part of that team. Morgan Weaver I believe she was on the 45-day list. I mean, those are 3 critical players, Moultrie, Coffey, and Weaver. So the Thorns are not at full strength here. But we're going to their house, right? So
it's an away game. 3:00, NWSL Plus. It's I think we'll play them hard. We've been playing everybody hard, so I'm a little nervous about it. I do think if we're gonna lose the game, I'll say it right now, I think we could lose this game. It's not a trap game or anything. I do legitimately think Portland has pieces, and when they're put together, things happen. So I'm not doubting our team or our quality. But if we start making mistakes out there, they're not going to miss their chances. They're going to make us pay. And my prediction is we could very well lose this game.
Yeah, I mean, their last 5, they have 3 wins, 1 loss, and 1 draw. And if they had Sophia Smith, they probably would have won that game.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, they're in good form right now. A little banged up, but good form nonetheless. So,
you agree? Do you think this could be the time?
I think it could. I mean, playing Portland is always difficult. Playing them at home is always difficult. I mean, we're just going to have to play fundamental soccer, right? We can't make those mistakes that we've been making. And not we gave up 4 goals to them last time. 2 of them were outside the box. Well, 2 or 3 of them were outside the box. And then Sophia Smith had some bangers in tough angles. So
if you get Chewinga a goal or 2, that's going to be wonderful. I worry about someone like Bia playing in this game. I know does Portland play on turf? Can't remember. I worry about someone like, that's coming back from injury and not quite playing a full 90 minutes yet. Yeah, because she didn't, right? Didn't she sub out at the end?
Yeah, she subbed out.
Yeah, in like the 73rd. So they're really just trying to ease her back into it with her foot thing. And if you're on turf, that's not great. On feet, ACL is nothing.
Yeah, same with Dabinia, right? She had a lower body injury she's working back from. So,
and that could suck, man, because those are 2 big players we need in a game like this. I don't feel I don't feel comfortable about this at all.
No,
I don't want to lose first, man. I don't want to lose before everyone else does. Washington and Orlando?
Washington,
Just Orlando, right?
yeah, just Orlando. And I feel like all the teams are kind of leveling out a little bit, right? Like Orlando's clearly in good form, but their games they're winning by 1 goal. Like they're really close.
I mean, they're very stout defensively. Like that means
They are.
that's good.
Washington scored in like the 96th minute to get a draw. Croy Bethune scored an absolute banger in like the 96th minute with 6 minutes of extra time or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a tough game, man. But, you know, most of their goals that they scored on us previously were in open play. So just going to stop that counter. Janine Becky's always been a thorn in our side. So just keep an eye on her.
Absolutely. Well, dude, that's Sunday, 3:00 for everyone. Any other games that kind of stick out to you this weekend?
Um,
You know, if you're looking at the 2 teams below us, Washington plays at Gotham, and Orlando plays at home against Utah. So I bet Orlando wins, and Washington could have a tough game.
Oh, absolutely. I don't expect Orlando to lose anytime soon here because I think their matchups are pretty favorable, but you can always hope, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they got Utah. So,
Yep.
That's going to be.
So, other news around the league is our general manager left, as everyone knows. Went over to Bay FC and is going to take on. What are you looking at that for? What did I misspeak?
I think it was.
What did I say?
You said Bay. She went to San Diego.
San Diego.
California.
Did I say Bay?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, San Diego. My bad. Your face immediately was like, I don't.
Well, like I knew. I thought it was San Diego, but you had me second guessing myself. I'm like, did I misremember that?
Yeah, I misspoke. Anyways, she gone and she found another job, and people over there seem pretty happy about it. Seem excited, and I think she's from there, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Your guy?
Probably. I mean, she brought a lot of good talent on this team. So if I'm San Diego, I'm pretty excited. My guess is the partnership with Flodko and the other staff might not have been bad, but she didn't have the control that she used to or wanted. And you know, that opportunity kind of came about and she took it.
That's a good point. That's a good point because Flodko has a lot of creative control here. It's really cool to see.
And I think the Longs, if they favor anybody, right, they're going to give the reins to Flodko over anybody else. So,
oh, sure. Yeah, I think that, well, good for her, I guess. Congrats and everything. I don't know. We didn't really know anything. For her. We always heard stories about certain things that maybe you weren't nice about, but good luck to you.
We might find out if that was truly her or if that was, additional people in the team. But
yeah, I need to.
That works out.
Need to backtrack to the match, man, and do our holiday distillery toast of the match. And I think that I'm having troubles here, right? I'm having troubles thinking who. That's why I didn't think about it in the moment because I was like, who's really going to stand out to me? And is it? You could say Chewinga, but I think I kind of want to say Bia for the awareness to like contort her body around and still slice it into net. Like that's a pretty risky shot. Do you have any arguments? Do you want to debilitate here?
No, I agree. It was close, right? To me, it was between her and Chewinga, but I was giving the edge to Bia in my head there. She had really good hold up play. She was dangerous. She allowed the attention she gets allows other players to play a little more freely. So yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, Bia with the holiday distillery toast of the match. It's what we're lucky to have her, man. Whenever I see her in the lineup, I'm like, oh God, yes, because she has linked up with Chawinga in a goal of some bad, something like when they both scored. It's happened 3 times this year where both of them have scored, and no other duo on any team has done that.
That's wild.
So that's a stat I like, man, and that's only going to grow too, because if they're both on there, shit's getting wild.
What I like too, that's kind of in my head going under the radar a little bit, is I think Michelle Cooper is playing really, really well. Her goals may not look like it, but I think she's 3rd on the team in expected assists per 90.
Okay. I've seen some backlash for her online, and I'm like, what are you guys talking about? Like, I think someone was like, I think it's time we have a conversation about Branch and Michelle Cooper. And I was like, whoa, we could talk about Branch. Like, I have some things I could say, but I haven't seen, like, what's Michelle Cooper effing up? Why are people saying that?
Like, her passes are really good. She's active. She's winning balls. She's part of the attack. She's constantly in good positions. There's times when she was in a great position, but the ball never made its way to her. Her crosses have been very good. Like, yeah, she's not scoring much, but when you have Debinha, Bia, and Chawinga, she doesn't need to be that player. Don't force something. Let her play her game, and those goals will come. But if she's assisting other players, then let that happen organically. Let's not force it.
Yeah,
and she's a 2nd-year player.
Sure,
let's. That seems silly to me.
It's very silly. But yes, I think props to Michelle Cooper as well. And just everyone on this team seems to be firing, but then it just takes one mistake, man, and people can really hurt us. Luckily, it's not in the form of a loss. It's just giving up points that we should really have, and we should be leaving these other teams in the dust.
I mean, when you take a look at goals we gave up at the very end in teams that we absolutely outplayed but just couldn't get a win, and I don't want to take credit away from those teams, because that's tough, right? You're playing a better team. If you can get a draw against a team that's really good, that's better than you, take it. But
their new stadium, that's pretty loud.
Yeah, but if you're Kansas City, you look at Houston, you look at Seattle, you look at Utah, you look at this game, you look at the game against Racing, right? That's 8, 10, 11 points that and every team could say that, right? So, I get it. But those are points, in my opinion, we should have walked away with. In this race wouldn't even be that close. But that's why you play the game.
Here we are. That's just how this sport works sometimes.
Yeah.
But we're still up there. Life is good. Anything else around the league that needs mentioning?
The host of it?
Sorry. Just making sound effects over here. Not really, to be honest. I was watching the San Diego game the other day, and I was just baffled that Alex Morgan has not scored in the regular season.
Weird.
Yeah, I don't know why that is. That doesn't relate to, us right now, but I just thought that was kind of odd.
That is odd.
Yeah.
What was the Pride festivities like at the game? Is that pretty cool?
It was.
Yeah.
It was a lot of cool Pride activity.
They give out the thunder sticks, right? The boom bag?
Stick merch was fantastic.
How was that? I know you love them thunder sticks.
If it's a crowd doing it, I love it. If it's one individual, I want to just deflate those right in front of their face.
My wife, she was using them, and you had just made that comment, and I was like, wow, sucks that you pointed out that you hate that kids do that, and my wife's over here going nuts.
Well, it's when everybody does it, it's a raucous, loud environment. It's fun. It's fantastic. Keep it going. But when you have there's a 20-some-year-old kid next to me, and he's just bang on it by himself, and I'm like,
oh, was he?
Yeah, and I just wanted to just take it and throw him on the ground because he was annoying. But
that's not very prideful of you, sir. That is hateful.
Yeah, that's the merchant.
Bring your earplugs in, old man.
The environment was fantastic though. When Bia scored, this crowd was it was like wrestling, right? You had the build up. It was palpable. We were shots left and right, so close, nothing was going in, and then Bia scored, and the whole crowd erupted. which was absolutely amazing. And then when Chawinga scored, the crowd went crazy, and then there's a sigh of relief. Great merchandise, by the way. Great merchandise in partnerships with the Current. So Pride Night was a lot of fun, man.
And no rally towel. That was a week or so ago, right?
Right. It was the teal. What was it? Teal out or whatnot?
Yes. Man, I'm missing all the stuff. I'm trying to think when I ever get to come to a game with you again. And I think it's... Oh, shit, bro! I think it might be next Friday.
Oh.
Yeah, man. I have a rare Friday off. That's exciting. Let's go. Let's get nuts.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's wrap this thing up then. That seems like everything. Thank you all for being here today. It's been fun. We will do the same thing next week. I want to, I kind of got a thing in my head where I don't want to talk to a player after a draw or a loss. I want to bring someone on this podcast after a victory, so we're all in great spirits.
Well, yeah, and I think with this international break, we might get some availability there. We'll see.
Hey, maybe so.
And then I kind of want to have like a mid-season breakdown with take it by the numbers, right? And that's something we can do during the international break. So we can have some fun with it, right? Just do something a little different. And there will be games, so, should be good times.
I thought you were about to suggest a mid-season break. I was like, do we do that? Do we break?
we don't break.
I don't know if we ever done that. Cool. Anyways, follow us online, Instagram, Twitter, wherever, at No Other Pod, at Dan Kooser, at Chris Wright 21. Email us to nootherpod@gmail.com. People do. They have good takes. Some are stupid, but most are good. And then we'll be back next week, man. Same teal time, same teal channel. For Chris, I'm Daniel, our producer Nick. We love you.